Here's the thing you're about to find out, the thing that I hate most in the universe. This is legitimately the thing that I hate more than anything else that has ever been created, at least in the artistic world, and that is John Lennon's Imagine. John Lennon's Imagine is a monstrosity. It's a moral, musical monstrosity. It is the cave troll of all that is good and holy. I mean, it is the worst thing that ever was created. The reason I'm bringing it up is because 2 days ago was the anniversary of John Lennon's assassination. Very sad. People shouldn't get killed. And so everybody decided that we're going to replay Imagine. This is the single worst song in human history. I mean, this sucker makes Justin Bieber look like Beethoven. It's pretentious. It's garbagey. The morality that it spouts is just spew. It's moral spew. It's worse than that. It's not just nonsensical. There's a sense to it. There is a sense, but it's so deeply immoral and deeply evil. And yet it's put over this kind of pretentious, these long pretentious piano chords and him singing meaningfully. And anybody who believes the crap in this song, you should never have any sort of conversation with them. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your brain power. I am not a censor. The song should exist. But if I were a censor, I would take every copy of this song and I would take it to a bonfire and I would burn it because it's a terrible song. There's certain words even I won't say here. It is a garbage. So we'll play a little bit of it. And then I'm going to take the screen that we're showing it on. I'm going to hurl it through a window. So we'll play a little bit of this garbage. What he just said is the most immoral thing you could possibly say. Imagine all the people living for today. That's basically what we have. Okay, imagine all the people living for today means you don't plan for the future. It means you don't care about your kids. It means you don't care what happens tomorrow. It means you don't care about anybody else. You just care about you. Okay, this is the most selfish morality possible. If all the people lived just for today, they would screw everything in sight and kill all their enemies. That's what would happen if everybody lived for today, because what happens tomorrow doesn't matter. If there's no punishment, if there's no reward and punishment in this life or any other, then all that matters is what is good for me right now. Okay, it's a deeply immoral philosophy that's being preached over this pretentious garbage piano music. I mean, one of the things I hate about the Beatles, honestly, is I actually like trained musicians, and the Beatles can write a melody. There's no question. They can write a catchy hook. Okay, none of them knew how to read music. Call me an elitist. For me to call you a great musician, you have to know how to read music. Okay, I wouldn't call you a great author if you don't know how to read. Okay, but we'll continue with this because there actually is some substance and depth. I think this is the entire Democratic Party. I think this is the entire American and European left. I think this is their morality in a nutshell. And I think they believe that it's beautiful, and it is the ugliest morality that you could possibly conceive of. The next stanza there, no religion. Religion is the cause of all the world's ills. Right. Communism and atheism murdered 100 million people in the century he was writing this. They were busy murdering people in China right as he was writing this garbage. Okay, this is such depraved morality. There's no countries. There's nothing worth killing or dying for. Really, how about like the torture of children? Is that worth killing or dying for? How about the murder of 100 million people? Is that worth killing or dying for? Turns out that in your happy-dappy little land here, where everybody is just wonderful and joyous. This assumes a goodness to human nature that just does not exist. The left assumes that all people inherently are good. All people are not inherently good, and anybody who's ever met a child knows this. Seriously, children are innocent, but they're not good. Everybody assumes that kids are good. Kids are not good. Kids are selfish. I love my daughter. She's wonderful, but she wants what she wants, and if she doesn't get what she wants, she fusses and she cries and she lashes out because she's a kid. Kids are just baby humans, right? Humans are all like this. Humans are not all good, and they're not all bad. They are capable of both good and bad, but mostly human beings are not civilized. That's why civilization is necessary for human beings. You have to have cultures. You have to have morality that is taught. If you just left everybody alone in a field, like in primitive times, everyone would kill each other. The murder rate in primitive societies was enormous, enormous, and nothing was developed because there was no civilization and there was no religion. This sort of noble savage nonsense that John Lennon was preaching from the most highly civilized portion of human civilization up to that point in history, it is amazing that all these people live off the fruits of a civilization that is absolutely contrary to their values, and then they suggest that if they just rip away the civilization, that nothing will change. I mean, honestly, I should just dismiss this because the guy married Yoko Ono. I mean, that alone, I should dismiss him. But we'll go one more stanza of this before I hurl myself through a window. That's the problem. He's not the only one. Here we go. Full-scale commie. In this giant house, by the way. He's standing in a giant-ass house. Brotherhood of man that has never existed and never will. God, this is so childish. So this final push toward no possessions. Honestly, this is actually being promoted by the left today. And there was an article in The Nation yesterday, J.A. Meyerson, writing in The Nation, says we should just abolish private property. We should just get rid of it. Western civilization. That's why we should not share the land. Private property ownership, the idea of labor, the idea of owning what you produce, is one of the greatest goods ever discovered in the history of civilization. We would all be hunter-gatherer, nomad peoples with no history, and we'd all die at 30 if it weren't for human civilization and private property ownership and the incentive that suggests that you own what you produce. Okay, but none of this makes any difference to these people. It's deeply immoral, but it's such childish philosophy. And it bleeds all the way down to the kiddies. I mean, this really is something that you would hear from a third grader, but leftists think it's so deep. They think stuff that 7-year-olds say is just the depth of what humankind is. And it really is evil, okay? You should not take your moral advice from small children. You shouldn't, but that's what this is. Okay, when my daughter is 5, I expect that I'll probably hear this from her, and I'll have to inform her life isn't fair and people do bad things. Right? Those two premises alone destroy everything John Lennon is talking about. Life isn't fair and people do bad crap. And as soon as you acknowledge these two basic facts about the world, none of this makes any sense. But I'm telling you, the entire left buys into this. And this is the happy world that would be if it weren't for us evil Republicans and our evil reality that we bring with us. It really is quite sickening. So that's the thing that I hate for today. The good news is that I think that reality intervenes. Every time this is tried, reality intervenes. That's the good news and the bad news.